Hello, my friends. Picked up this straight out of an ATM. Had that 3 been a 6 or a 5, we would be talking about a binary note $20 bill. Now, I found a binary 5 and binary $1 bill not too long ago. Man, on eBay, the $5 bill could possibly be worth about $30 or $40. At least that's what people were asking for. Whether or not they get it is another story. Now, my buddy, addicted to minis, was talking about should we even be buying silver? With silver going up as much as it has. Well, I went by Monday to the jewelry store and bought a few coins. I'll show you the two of them first, and then the third one last for effect. This is slightly damaged Walker. Looks like 191, hard to tell. And this is a dateless Standing Liberty, which there's a lot of them that are like that. No mint mark on that, so it's a Philadelphia coin. But, so I got those, plus, and you don't see this very often. I've only actually seen one other 64 Kennedy with a hole drilled in it. And this one's a pretty big hole. Still weighs 12 grams though, so this one's a Denver coin. You can see the D or what's left of it there. It's kind of odd, but I weighed all this stuff up by grams in the day I bought it at what the melt value was. And he told me a price that was about $250 less than what the actual silver weight was worth. So I made out okay under melt buy, and it with silver going up since the day I bought it, it's even further under melt now. All right. We're going to talk about what I bought today. Was able to get this, and this is under melt because 90% silver, which is what this is, the same size and weight as our quarter, our silver quarter, that is 90%, 6.25 grams, $7. If I remember correctly, the melt on a 90% coin this weight is $7.40. I don't really remember exactly, but 7 something. And I like this design quite a bit with the Conquistador. His name, I believe it's Balboa, is the guy's name. But the design on the coin's pretty cool. This one's a little worn. Now, a while back I got this one, which is a full Balboa coin. It's a bit worn, and it's 1947, but it is 90% and 26.73 grams. The same size and weight as a U.S. Morgan or Peace dollar. Now, for my buddy addicted to minis, I'm going to show this coin. This is a French coin from 1840. It's 5 francs. And it's not in terrible shape for being that old. It's a little worn, but it did get used, but there's not that much details taken off of it. It's 25 grams starting weight, equals out to 0.7234 ounces of silver in this. Not quite 3/4, but at $24.50 it was right at melt when I bought it, and now it's well under melt. And that was one thing the Kansas Kid was talking about in one of his recent videos how a bunch of silver he had bought is now under melt. He didn't mean that he bought it under melt necessarily. He means that with silver going up so much, is now under melt. This one I got a little while ago. It was a little more. It's the same size and weight as this one. Same 90% silver. A neat design. It's 5 lire. I think that's how it's pronounced. But at the time, the ones I really liked, I got at about the same collection the one dealer bought. He bought a lot of world silver coins. So I was able to get this 8 real or real Mexican coin, which is 903 silver. Someone wrote 720, but that was wrong. Although the ASW they wrote on the back was right. $27 when I bought it. That was pretty close to melt. This other one, which is 1864, was $1 more. They did write the right silver percentage on it. It's older but less worn. It's a really cool coin. I was happy to get them. Now, we're going to talk about a few other things before I'm going to start pulling some dimes out to sort. Because what I'm looking for is dimes that I could sell if I wanted to. Stuff I bought long ago enough that is well under melt. But we will talk about another Balboa. I have a half Balboa here. This random silver coins in this. It's a little circulated. But when I bought that sack of silver coins, it was right at melt by its weight, or ASW, I mean, 90%, 12.5 grams, 1930. So it's a nice year for this. That's really the only coin in this I feel really wanting to talk about a whole lot, except maybe this one. Because this is not silver. This is a 1941 halfpenny, which was a copper thing that I believe someone plated with silver. Don't know why. It's silver plating or even gold plating does not really add any value to your coin or whatever you have. Now, I do want to show this Cuban, if I can get it open and a hold of it. That's the problem with these little bags like this. It's so hard to open them sometimes. Doesn't help, my thumbnails and fingernails are all beat up too from years of working. Hard work, mind you. Oh, well, I'll just show you to you through the bag. This is a 40 centavos Cuban coin. Well, I gotta get it out of the bag because I don't remember what year this is. Alright, there we go. This coin is 1915. And it's 40 Libertad. Or, I don't know, well, I don't know where it's at. Don't know if I have a 1931 penny Australian coin. I like the star with the rays coming out from behind it like this. It's a 10-gram coin, is as what it started anyway. This one's a little bit worn. Neat coin. The other ones in this particular bag are the Philippine 1 peso coin. All right. I did buy a few other foreign coins today. Every one of them, including the Balboa quarter Balboa, are under melt. Belgium 1 franc, 475. ASW is 0.1342. It is kind of neat. It is 1914, right as World War One began. This one's 1887. Gem uncirculated coins are always worth more than ones that are circulated. This stuff was all under melt, so I'm not being heavily judgmental about their condition. I mean, this one's 0.1342 ounce silver in it, 835 silver. So it's probably about $1 under melt. The shilling is 0.1682 of silver, and it says 1 shilling. What's that date? 1881. For $6. It's a bit smaller than a U.S. quarter, but it is at that price a bit under melt. The last one in the group is something that adds to my list of countries that I have silver coins from. And this one's probably not a very easy country to get because I'm kind of certain they didn't make a lot of coins because it's not much more than a city. 1929, Luxembourg. And this says Charlotte Grande or Grande, Duchess of Luxembourg. There are some scratches right there, including someone scratched like an X. Other than that, it's not worn very much. It says 750 silver, if that's right. You can't always trust what these say. But at 0.3255 ounces of silver, so 3 of them or so makes about an ounce. 3 at $13 would be 39. Silver's 42, so obviously this is under melt. Now, I'll pull this away. And I did say I wanted to sort some dimes. So I'm going to get some dimes out here in a minute. Got all these coins from the bank. On these, what you're looking for is 2000 Philadelphia. There's some kind of die-air on them where there's like a spear going through the eagle, and they call it the Wounded Eagle. And it's on the reverse where the eagle's flying. And it runs in a direction about like this, about where my fingernail was pointing to. There's about 100 known, so well, there's 100 of them. There could be a few more that aren't known or aren't found yet. So I don't feel like it's a long goose chase as much as some of them are. Now, I've got dimes, and I'm trying to sort the box by the coins. And I've gotten pretty far along into all the way up through the 20s. But I have another box with 20s in it. Well, not now. I put all the 20s in this one. What I'm going to do is pull out at least all of the 1930s from this one and the other box. And there's the stack. The other box is a bit lower in number of coins. And I'm consolidating the coins into the other box from this box. This looks like it's got about as many 30s in it as that one did, maybe more. Actually, I do think it's more. That's the stack. So what we're going to go ahead and do, 30. That price makes this a coin prime example of being well under melt right now and could be sold. And when they're this kind of condition, it's really nothing special about the coin. And this is something I should have been doing as I bought all these, is just flatten these staples. We have 1930, 30S, another 30S, so I got another 30S, so I have 3 of them. And at 225, they're under melt, but I'm not sure exactly what I would get out of them. One like this, I know I'd easily get more than what I have in it. That one at 625 is probably a lower mintage one. Unlikely I could get much more than that for it because it's kind of worn. Next one is 34, 225, 34D. Now, I have several 35s. This says $3. I'm not sure I paid $3 for that one. But this one at $1.75 is definitely something I could part with easy. Because I have this one, which someone wrote MS65 and B, which probably means bands. $5. Someone had 7. Let's see if we can see if it has full bands or not. Well, that lower one, the straight across line, you can see the break across it. The top one, you can see a break all the way across it. The middle one is suspect. As in, I don't think it's quite enough to make it a full bands designation. And probably not Mint State 64 either. I don't know what it would grade, but it's the better condition of those coins, so it's one I would likely keep of that bunch. All right, 35S, 225. Let's see how many 1936s I got. Oh my. That's certainly a large number of the same coin, 6. See if any of them are real cheap. Oh, there we go. These two are prime examples. $1.60, $1.85. And since I have 6 1936, that's a couple coins I could easily say I can part with. And I might be able to part with some of the ones that are 225 because they might be able to be sold for more. 36S for $4, which is a little higher grade. It's not Mint State, but you can see mint luster on it. Might be like extra fine. There's a couple more 36s. I'm going to put them in the cheapest one of the bunch first. 225 is, I might be able to sell it for that, or pretty close, easy. How many 37s do I have in this? Jeez. 5 of them. 225, 225. There's one right there, $1.75. Easily could be sold for more than that and make the most money. All right, 37 Denver, then 37 San Francisco. You don't see the most of the coin dealers I've ever seen at shows or whatever use the white stock card. Every now and then you'll see orange, blue, maybe red, but not really that often. Okay, 38, 38D, that's 210. 38D, that's 250. 38S, $1.85 with some toning. Which looks kind of cool if you can get the light to hit it right. It's almost like a crescent moon across the top. $1.75 easily could be sold. All right. 39s. There's 3 there. And 4 here. So how many of these are real cheap? There's one, $1.85. That's a kind of a nicer one. $1.85, $1.85. So those, $2.25. Those are all coins that I could probably make decent enough money on. Once you get a little higher, though, you might be looking at something that would be harder to make extra money on. And my coin dealer, if he told me if I wanted to sell dimes to him, if they're nicer ones like this, he'll pay more than what he does for the ones that aren't quite as nice. Those 39D ones, though, I have a really nice 39D, so these are easily expendable. That one says $1. If I actually got that for $1, we're talking about, there's $1.75. I have quite a few 1939 Denvers. There's 7 of them in this. That one's $1, $1.75, $1.85, $1.90, $2.25, $3.25, and this one's $2.50. The one I got that's a lot better cost $18, and it looks mint state to me. So it's a lot nicer coin than these are. By the way, if you are considering selling a bunch of coins and you have a lot of them that aren't really sorted real well, put them in order by date and by mint. By mint, usually put the P first, because even though it's not alphabetical, it is how they go into the book. It lists Philly, then Denver, then San Francisco. These two are pretty cheap in terms of that. That one's got nice dark toning if you like toning on your coin. Likely been cleaned, and it has circulated, so it's the kind of coin that is, its price is going to be mostly determined by its melt value. So now I got to see if all those will fit in this without having to pull a bunch out. Well, I'm going to pull out the 40s anyway, and then work them other ones in this. And to tell you the truth, this many dimes, I don't really need 3 or 4 examples of certain years. In fact, pretty much all these could be sold if silver goes up a lot more, to where all the ones that are 225 are enough below melt that they would sell above melt, and not by a small margin. Oh, it's getting tight. All right. So this side of the box is now tightly filled. By the way, these collecting boxes come in many different sizes. I'll go ahead and show you this. This box is a double-sided box, and it's loaded clear full of silver dimes. The box is, like I said, 14 inches long, so it can hold a lot of coins. It goes back to the vault. But since I sorted those, that means I have to take these and put them in the other box, which isn't as loaded right now because I've been sorting the coins from the other one. I don't feel like doing that anymore tonight, but we'll go ahead and show you this other box is also double-sided, and it's also a 14-inch box. So it tells you I've got a lot of dimes, and that's why I'm going through and feeling like some of this I ought to sell, because I know in the 40s, the Mercuries, there is a lot of 40s in both of these boxes. I mean, I might have 5 or 6 of almost every one from the 40s once I sort them. But I'm not going to sort any more tonight because, frankly, I'm starting to get a little tired. I do want to thank everyone who came by, and we will review the fact that I got this, which is Luxembourg, which goes on the list of countries. I just added a Japanese coin not that long ago. Now I'm adding this one. I'm probably at 32 countries out of all the like 180, 190, and a few of them might be almost impossible to get coins from because of the country. The European ones shouldn't be too hard, and any American country coins in the Americas are probably a little easier if you live in North America. South America, there might be a few that's trouble, but I have found or bought a few from them anyway. Now, going back to a different topic, Kansas Kid was talking about wanting to get more 10-ounce silver bars because he has these stacker ones in his video, which you should check out. And appreciating the amount of money in these. This is 100 grams of 3/9 fine silver. When I bought it, it was, I want to say $110 or $105. By today's price, it's way under melt at that price. I don't want to sell it, but I could. This one, I paid more because it's 5 ounces. And I bought it kind of recently, so silver hasn't risen as much to make it super cheap. Now, we'll talk about U.S. junk silver. I have this glass dish. This is stuff I bought in 2023. Most of it probably averages out to about 20 times face, which would make about $10 for this. Well, melt on these makes them worth about $15 today. So I'm likely ahead on this, although unfortunately the condition on a lot of this probably means I won't get a very good price. It'll be determined by melt if I sell it, and I'm not planning on selling it. This one's got some damage, as you can see. There's even stuff like a Barber diamond here that's 1892. This is a first year Barber coin. That's the first year they made them. Um, if there was a mint mark, it would be underneath the bow there. This is so worn. If there's a mint mark there, it's worn enough. I don't think you'll ever know for sure. And there are stuff like this. Roosevelt dimes. Generally speaking, they won't pay as much for these as they will for Barbers or Mercuries. At least that's what I've been told. There's no good dates for those really, and really in this, mostly quarters. There are halves in it, but it's mostly quarters, as you can tell when you look in there. I haven't counted how much dollars in face this is, but it's quite a bit. That goes back to the vault. And a lot of the rest of this stuff in this bag is the same kind of stuff. Although that's not silver. That is an older Canadian cent. I might be able to pull it out real quick and get a hold of the right bag. It is in a bag with some silver coins. Let's see if we can get this where you can read the date. Canada 1 cent, 1921. But I think the rest of all this is all, well, it's not all dimes. There is another cent thing in it. That one, it's pretty old, and it's mucked up quite a bit, as is the silver coins in this. I think they're mostly Mercuries, but that goes back to the vault too. And talk real quick about Washington quarters. Of the Washington quarters, most of them, there really isn't any key date. These trade nearly at their silver melt value most of the time, if they're slightly circulated, which most of these are. You can see when I bought it, it's $4.50. Now melt on these is over $7 now, so these 12 quarters, you probably add about $3 to the price and maybe sell them at that price to somebody, especially if I know someone who's a collector or a stacker who wants to buy a bunch of quarters. And even if then I could say, well, you know what, I'll sell them to you for $6 and I'll be ahead, and you know, why not? I don't expect, this is more like a savings account. I don't expect any of this kind of stuff to really go up in value. But when you start appreciating how much money and value you have of a bag of silver like this today, there's 3 of the pesos in that 10 gram, 90%. These other ones are, I believe, 80%, if I remember correctly. They're about a half ounce of silver each, though, these pesos. And if you haven't seen one, the other one being 10 grams is probably worth somewhere in silver about 11 or $12 probably. 1 peso, Philippines. Neat design. I like the shield and eagle on this. It's 1907. S means San Francisco. They were are protective at that time. Colony, whatever you want to call it. They were under our protection, so we struck coins for them. It's a neat coin. It's a little over half an ounce of silver in that, so at $42, I've got 3 of them. So it's 1.5 ounces, or about $60 in silver today, which is crazy because I think most of these cost me about 10 or 12 bucks when I bought them. So something that was about 36 is now worth about 60. And I've been filling this tube, and it's full now. 90% US silver, Morgans and peace dollars, plus one Statue of Liberty, which is 90% silver, 1986 S. That's been pocket carried for a while. Never seen one pocket carried before. All of the ones I've ever seen are in gem kind of condition inside a holder, a capsule, or whatnot. And I was filling this one. I'm almost to the top with, again, peace dollars and Morgans that are damaged, worn out. Some of them got holes in them. I think there's 19 total here. Five, 10. Yeah, there's 19 in this. Like I said, a lot of them have holes in them. The ones with holes in them, I've been buying under melt. And if you got a sterling silver necklace that you can hang, like a chain, you can hang them on. You could resell them as jewelry, maybe get more out of them than what I paid. But in reality, even if I don't get more than I paid, I'm not that worried about it. This is, again, like a savings account. This is stuff I could part with very easy if I wanted to, providing someone would pay me something nice for it. This one's actually more because it's all the way to the top, and some of these are worn pretty thin, as you can tell on that one. It's very worn, and it does have a pretty good size hole in it. So how many are there? 5, 10, 15, 24. Keep in mind that in this one, someone stamped roses on it, which is kind of neat. Hammer punched something. But considering the melt value of 90% silver today, these are over 30 bucks a piece by their weight, roughly. Even the ones with holes, even the ones that are kind of slick, are probably close to $30 worth of silver. So 24. Oh, I do have to cover one other thing. If you've watched my videos in the past, you know I've taken this calculator to calculate stuff. Well, I knocked it onto the floor again. I did it several times over the last year or two, and it cracked the case, and now it won't come on. So this is now totally worthless. But I liked having it because it was handy. Yeah, I could type out the math I wanted to do real quick. I want to go ahead and end this talking about one other thing. I happened to go by a store. I don't remember which one. But this was laying on the parking lot right near where I parked. It's a pocket knife that it says built tough. And it says right edge on it. I don't know if this is a decent knife company or just a cheap junk knife, but I got it for nothing. The other two things are blades too, just different shape or smaller. This one's kind of like that shape. This other one's just a little smaller, and it's a different shape too. But I got it for nothing, so if it's worth anything at all, I did okay. But, I mean, I found it a couple years ago, probably. It might not have been on the lot very long because it doesn't look like anybody ran it over and ground it against the cement or concrete much. Or whatever the parking lot was made out of. Maybe asphalt. I don't remember where I found it. But if anybody knows anything about knives, I'd appreciate a comment about right edge, if it's anything at all worth anything, or if it's just a Chinese made. So yeah, it's Chinese made, so it's probably not worth nothing. I didn't look at that side. It says China. It does say stainless on it. It's China made. It's likely not a very high value pocket knife, but I got it for nothing still. So that pretty much covers my topic about, is silver now too high to be buying, and maybe should you think about selling? Because when you're buying random junk silver like this, if you can get this kind of stuff under melt, you're doing okay, especially if it's a more than a little under melt, which a couple of these are at least $1 under melt. Because I think what happened is my coin dealer priced this a couple months ago, and silver's risen, and he hasn't bothered to change it because he doesn't. It's a lot of extra work to just keep changing prices on stuff. He does change prices on some things, but these individual foreign coin silver, foreign silver coins, I mean, probably not too much. I mean, talk about this one again. Addicted to minis. I have one of them too. 90% silver, 24.50, 5 franc. This would probably be a little higher if I bought it today. And maybe 26. I don't know. It's clearly under melt now, being 90% silver, and it's 0.7234 ounces worth of silver content. ASW. It's a neat piece of history. Hard saying how many more of these are still around, but this one somehow got to the United States, and this is Louis Philip I. Neat, but how much value beyond its silver value would you think it should be? Being it's circulated and slightly damaged, not much. Not around here anywhere. Anyway, now online, that's a totally different story. Because online, if you look up these coins, the 8 real, if you go to AppMex, they have these listed for sale for a hell of a lot more than $28. Of course, the ones they have are AU, I think. And they might have some that are slightly worn like this one is. It's barely worn, really. Details wise, I'd say it's probably extra fine. Once they start getting worn down, you start losing the lines on them rays and the Libertad on it, or parts around the rim like this one start wearing, and you see less details on the eagle on the back. That eagle's got quite a bit. Hello, Christopher. But yeah, you look up what these sell for on AppMex, as opposed to $27 and $28 for these worn, especially that one, worn examples of this older Mexican coin. I mean, 1864 and 1896. It's getting back a few, a bit. But the Balboa is not near as old. It's a lot newer, actually. Being 1947. Been wanting one of these since the first time I saw one. Well, the day I first saw them, there's 2 of them, and somebody got there before me, and was buying both of them. One was priced at $20 and one was priced at $30. This one was 26, so right in about the middle of the two. But silver's higher now than what it was then. But that's pretty much what I have for everyone tonight. I hope that everyone has a good night. I gotta take all this stuff back to the vault. It's a pain in the butt. But lock it up. Lock it away. It's not visible. It's not something that can be swiped. You don't want to leave this sitting on your living room coffee table. Because if someone, even a friend, enters the house and and you're not paying attention, this might walk away. Especially if you have a party, which I don't like to have. But so this all this stuff gets locked away in the vault. But everyone have a good night. We will see you next time. If you want to go back and watch more of this video or any other videos I've done, there's plenty of them on my channel. So, and other live streams show previews of most of the coins when I got them. And then I usually do shorts for individual coins. So you can go to my playlists and find different types, world coins, silver coins like this, or even not silver coins, specific mints, like, well, the Orleans mint, New Orleans. I have video playlist for that. I have a playlist for Morgan. I have a playlist for Peace Dollars. I have a playlist for Walking Liberty. I have a playlist for Standing Liberty. I have a playlist for Seated Liberty coins that you can watch a bunch of different videos and stuff and see a lot of different coins. All locked up in the vault, though. That's pretty much all I have for you tonight. I hope that everyone has a really good night. And we will see you next time. The 1999 Delaware coin quarter. I don't have one anywhere handy. It's not, unless it's got the little die-air on it. It's called the Spitting Horse or something like that. It's got a little raised piece on it right in front of the horse's head that looks like it's spitting or something. I don't have that, but it is. I probably have a few of them quarters around, but they're just, unless they're silver, they're not. I don't know if they even made silver ones for that year. I can't remember. But that's pretty much what I have for you tonight. We will see you next time. That's all I got.